I
Okay.
want to start off by saying my great-grandfather's name is Ishtajaja. My grandfather's name is Wasichuna Berpa. My dad's name is Echakachui Maza, Elk Ironsides. And of course, my name is Wanbdi Wakita, Looking Eagle. When I was 13 years old, I'm ready to leave my community. And my mom had said, before you leave your community, before you leave, he said, I would like you to get your man name. You get your man name when your voice starts to change at maybe 12 years old or 11 years old, 13 years old, somewhere around there. And so this old man came, his name is Leo Menard. He done a ceremony for me. And when he finished the ceremony, he told me, my name is Wanbdi Wakita, Looking Eagle. He said, the reason why you got that name is because you are to look over all the people, make sure everything is okay. And if it isn't, you go and help them. When I'm 13 years old, my thinking is up here, but I don't have nothing. I don't know anything. How am I supposed to help these people? I didn't say that, but that was what I was thinking at that time. When you're just a young person, but 15 years later, at age 28, that's my work was given to me by Creator. And that's exactly what I've been doing for quite a few years now. Making prayers for people, using my name. Every time I make prayer, I look up. I do cleansing with medicine first, and then I look up. That way they can, my ancestors, they can recognize me, and they're able to come down here and be able to help the people. I myself, I don't have nothing. I don't have no power, no magic, nothing like that. It's them up there that do all the work of healing and information and instruction and all of those. So I don't, myself, I don't have anything. I make a good space for them to come, and they really like that. So I continue to do that. It's honorable. I really am enjoying that work, and especially when things turn out good for the people. And, we have another one again tonight. People from all over, they come. People, if they can't make it, they phone. There's a number of people tonight sitting outside of their house, like in Alberta, for instance, or Northwest Territories. They're sitting outside of their house with their tobacco in their hand and making prayers the same time I am, because I asked them to do that. This is a way that our ancestors can go to different places and help those people that need help. That's kind of the way things go. Anyway, I was born on a small farm, of course, and I really liked it. It was, everybody had lots of work to do, and it just didn't seem like work. Everybody, my brothers and sisters, my mom and dad, my grandpa, we all had different jobs to do on this small little farm every day, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. At a certain age, in our case, our grandpa gave us 2 horses each at the age 8 and 9. Just my brothers and I. And I don't know why he didn't give it to the girls, to my sisters, but that's just the way it turned out. And we we know how to look after those horses. There's a long ago story about that. And there's songs involved in that too. So that's kind of what happens. Unfortunately, my family, who built a strong, safe foundation for me growing up, was disrupted by me being sent to residential school. In fact, all of our brothers and sisters, we all went. The RCMP threatened my dad. They said, if you don't go to school, we're going to put you in jail. My dad is a World War II veteran, and that's not the RCMP's job, is to threaten veterans. Their job is to protect them. So that's the kind of white man things. When I say a white man, I don't know what I'm talking about, really. All I know is they're non-Indigenous. Maybe I should start saying that from now on, but they have controlling methods on us almost every step of the way. They put us on a small little reserve. It hasn't changed ever since 1870, it hasn't changed. And there's no water there, there's no hunting there, there's no animals to hunt. So, and all around us on our reserve, there's no trespassing signs, no hunting signs all over the place. So that's a hardship. We're people of the land. When the old people, when they talk to us, they say we have many, we went through lots of things and we have many names. We were first known as the Blue Star people. Then we became known as the Buffalo people. Then we became known as the Horse people. So we tried to live according to what became available to us, so that we can live good. Of course, there's always rules, regulations, and laws. Those laws are very, very important. The human being laws, the natural laws, and the sacred laws, they're important. And if we listen carefully to our grandparents and our mom and dad, they would teach us or show us or give us or tell us these natural laws that are sacred. And if you live by those laws, things usually turn out pretty good. I want to be like my grandfather, Wasichuna Bearpaw, Grandpa Bearpaw. And, he was never sick in his life. I have a picture of all my family here on this wall. We're cultural people. We know our culture. That is the history, the ceremonies, the songs, the language. We know those things, and this is how we keep in good shape. My grandfather was never sick in his life. I want to be just like him. And every day he'll take a nap, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Right after he has lunch, he'll lay down and have a nap. He's the first one up and the last one to go to bed in the evening. I want to be like him. I don't want to be. I'm kind of starting that now. I'm 80 years old and I feel really good. And I want to share a few things about what my grandpa had told me. Get up early every morning. So this morning at 4:05, I got up, and the first thing I said was, "Morning, Grandpa." Makes me feel good. The only thing is, I'm lazy these years, and I fell back to sleep and I got up at 6:30. So sorry, Grandpa, I say. But I remember him as a quiet man. Never wore shoes, always wore moccasins. He always smoked a pipe. And he used that natural tobacco, some of which you showed me today. We never used commercial tobacco in our pipes, never. We tried to eat a muskrat in the springtime when they first come out. That was another teaching. And I know why along the way. I know why. And we did. We caught muskrats, and our koshi or our mom would cook those up, and boy, it really tasted good. So those are laws that we lived by. It doesn't seem like much, but there are laws. And getting up early means you go outside and greet Mother Earth, greet the sun, the wind, whatever's out there, the snow, the cold, the warm air, whatever's out there, that's how you're going to live. And it was, I would say it was a pretty good life that I grew up in. It started me off in a good way. I really appreciate that very much. I say that to them almost every day. Thank you. And I'm following those laws that they taught me. And of course, they taught those laws to me while we're growing up, small. I'm tired already. Maybe I should just cut it off and have a nap. So those laws are pretty important. To be observant, to listen to what the people are saying. And when you talk back, words are really important. So you don't just talk any old way. You talk from your heart, and always start things from your heart. Those are very important teachings. We live by heart, mind, body, and spirit in that order. That's the reason why you have them inside here. And if you live in that order, things generally turn out really good. I'm very fortunate. I'm thankful to Creator and our ancestors and Mother Earth and Grandmother Earth and Indigenous, the Indigenous people, and the animals and the things that have wings and the medicines and the sun and the wind, the air, the earth, the fire. I'm honored to be part of them. All together like this. That's how we live. We're not separate, standing by ourselves like that. We're all, and you could tell by the ceremonies that things are answered. Just many examples of that, and witnessed by many. That's a good thing to have. What I understand is when I'm going to do something, Creator gives me the authority to go ahead and do it. Having a purification lodge, I know the details of that. I know the reason why. And I wouldn't build one if Creator didn't give me the right. I know how to build it. And it takes 2 years to build a lodge. So you have to be careful too, because they're the ones that's going to be, Creator's the one that's going to send our ancestors down and go into that lodge. If you build it the way that you were told to build it, face your lodge to the west, acknowledge the sun and the morning star, use this many rocks for this kind of ceremony, this many rocks for this kind of ceremony, this many rocks for that kind of ceremony, this many rocks for that kind of ceremony. Sing those 4 songs in order. All of those details, if you follow that when you're doing that ceremony, you could feel, you could hear the spirits inside there. So those are the things that I learned. You will have a sun dance. That old man told me, that the one that lives up there. And here's how you're going to have that sun dance. Say, use the right names, he said, in your language. Use the right names when you're conducting ceremony. When those old people, the spirits talk, they use the old Dakota language. Sometimes it's hard to understand, but that's what you have to learn. That you have to learn, you have to practice it. You have to try and understand why is it, why do I need to do it? Why do I need to do it this way? That you'll get the meaning. You'll learn that, you'll understand that, and how it applies to you. In what way does it apply to you? It's not, you'll just have a purification ceremony and then that'll be okay. Not like that. All instructions come from up there. It's very important. So that's what I got to understand. Wait for those instructions to be able to give names to it started off with newborns, and then be able to have a purification ceremony, to be able to put people on a vision quest, and then to be able to sing the songs that was given to me, to sing those songs only at a certain part, a certain place, a certain, the reason why, in what place, the ceremony do you sing these songs? Why do you sing those songs in only those places? The eagle song, the water song, all of those Sundance songs, the purification ceremony, the 4 directions, all of those, they're given to me to sing them at the appropriate times. You don't sing them any old way. I see that today. Those young people, that's what they're doing. And it doesn't work. That's why their ceremonies don't work. They don't work. I'm looking after myself really good, because I learned that I must do that. You know, I didn't always live good. I had hard times. I went to residential school for 8 years. I went in the Canadian Armed Forces to learn how to kill people. I went across the ocean to different places to do that. Those aren't good things. But I had to find out. I had different jobs. I went to university. I went to be a plumber. I went to be a mail carrier. I was a conservation officer. And each time I go to those jobs, the old man would come and tell me, this is not your place. So I lost a lot of good jobs. But I know now why they're saying that, because this is my place here, doing ceremonies or making space to have ceremony and help the people that way. They're coming again tonight. So I'm happy. It's just like, it's a lot of work, but it's just like, it's not work. It feels really good. And I've been doing that for about 55 years now. And it feels really good to be part of that. I used to have friends. They're pretty well all gone now. You know, all the old people that taught me. I had real good teachers where I come from. Really good teachers. I follow I listen to them real carefully. But you know, I should have listened more carefully, because I'm missing some of those things that they told me. I forgot some of those things that they told me. So I should have been more careful to really listen good. A song was given to me that came from way back from my great grandfather, who was a great man in his time. They write about him all over the place in the history books and all kinds of things. His song, he gave me his song. So I'm very honored to get those kinds of things. And I want to keep it straight. I don't want to. Our way is not for a show. Our way is not to just do it any old way. Our way is to make sure, because they listen to you. And if you don't do it right, you're going to get reprimanded. And if you don't listen to the reprimand or the sacred instructions, you're going to have to go back home where you come from. Just as simple as that. So living your life is a pretty serious business. But there are some things, some rules, policies, whatever you want to call them. Those are the ones that I follow. Know who you are. Eat according to the seasons. You know, form an attitude. Have humor in your life. And believe in something. Use humor. All of those kinds of things. My grandfather used to say, we're not looking for the truth. The truth is a regular thing. It goes without saying that when you talk, you're going to tell the truth. So there's all of those words, and one really came to my attention. I was doing something downtown with a group of young men, and they asked me to talk to them. It was a series, I think 4 or 6 times, each in different ways, different categories, they're really prerequisites, starting at step 1, going to step 6, you know, so, and some of them were non-Indigenous. So when I finished one class, it was about words, how important are words. And one of them young men, after class, he came to me and he says to me, do you know respect? Well, of course I know respect. I kind of brushed him off, you know. But he got me thinking, this non-Indigenous young man comes to ask me if I know respect. So I took that home to my teacher, my professor. You know, I said, this young man, Washichu man, asked me about if I know the word respect. There's two different words in our Dakota language. It means the same thing, respect. So I told him, I said, yeah, he said, ahopa, that's respect. Oyohoni, that's another respect word in Dakota. But he said, in order for you to really know what this word respect means, he said, you know it in the words in Dakota. He said, but now you're going to go out and put that word respect into action. That way you're going to know what it means. So that young and non-Indigenous man gave me a great teaching. Same with the word courage. All these times of drinking alcohol and fighting and all kinds of stuff like that, I was doing that because I was afraid. I was a coward, really. But me, I thought I was a big man, you know, fighting all the time and, you know, really just treating everybody with disrespect, really. So I had to learn those words, but I had to put them into Dakota, my own language, and then put them into action. That's how I got to learn about me, about what it is that I need to do. So I know that words, culture, really, that's what we're talking about. The other thing is we don't really understand some white man ways. And so if you don't understand the white man ways, maybe we can go back to our own way and it'll work out better that way. And then share it afterwards to your family and your friends, your community, you know, you share the way you figured things out. Amazing the way that when somebody speaks like that, they listen to you, what you have to say. So that in itself is quite a big deal. To be able to learn how to listen. Communication is about listening. It's not about talking. So the same with the law of sharing, for instance, or the law of caring. Those things. Those are the law of love. I see we don't know the law of love too much, and yet creator's total love. You know, so we really need to pay a little closer attention to listening and the words that we speak, because that has to come from your heart, those words. Your thinking has to come from your heart. Your actions has to come from your heart. Your talking has to come from your heart. No other way. I used to be half of a person at one time when I came back to Canada after 10 years. And looking at the countries over there, the way they do things, man, Canada's a really good country. But learning about the way things are done, why do you do that? You know, those little kids, even when they're playing soccer over there in Cyprus, they fight because they think they're two different people, and they're not. Same as Germany. The government divided them, thinking that it's better that way. And yet, the same country, same language. They tore the wall down. There used to be a big wall separating the two. They tore it down. Now they're doing things together. There was no need to go through those kinds of things. And there's terrible of conditions over there when I was over there. It was not good. So, you know, you put yourself in good order. You feel good. And it just doesn't happen like that. There's a bit of work you have to do. You have to sleep good. You have to exercise lots. I'm walking around fairly good because of my experience in the Army. I used to run 15 miles a day when I was young, every day for a few years. And today I'm still walking around. My friends, they're not walking around my age. So I relate that to my experience in the Canadian Armed Forces. So just because you eat good and you sleep good, you exercise good, you think that's it? No, it isn't. You got to be able to feel good. You got to think good. You got to talk good. You got to be good, do good things. You know, it's all of those. You know, it's everything's all together. Yeah, and you do that by recognizing that you have a heart, a mind. My grandfather told me that you have two brains, he told me. And the reason why you have two brains is because you need to learn from what is right and you need to learn from what is wrong. Of course, me, I'm thinking I'm just a little boy. And I'm thinking, Grandpa, you never went to school. How do you know I have two brains? Years later, as I was in the school, I looked at this science book with was a picture of a man with his head open, and sure enough, there's two brains, one on each side. And I'm thinking, Grandpa's right. Where did he get that information? He never went to school. Where did he get that information? From up there. That's where he got it from. And why was he given that information? For him to learn and to share it with people who ask or for people who listen. So that's another thing that you'll likely go through. Listen closely to people who interesting places that you go to, or the good work that people have done. It's not that you're going to have to listen to every word. Not like that. It's not like what they tell you, that's what you're going to do. No. You're going to do your own thing your own way. Long as you decipher some of the information and the words that they tell you, because your heart is the one that's going to deal with those words. Don't start up here in your mind. because you'll go off the track. So I understand that, because that's what Creator is showing us. When in my prayers, I always say, Creator, can you please show me that road again, the one that you gave me when I was born? I really want to walk on it. I don't want to fall off again. I don't want to, I ignored that road for a few years, doing just fighting and drinking. I didn't know lots of things. I went to residential school when I was quite young, and I ran away when I was 13 years old, and I never went back. And I worked on a farm for a couple of years, and then I joined the army. So all this stuff that's going on, the music and the food, I never knew any of that. I never knew hamburger or milkshake or dating. I don't know any of that stuff, because I was put under control. In a residential school, you're told to do everything their way, don't speak your language. Oh boy, they were rough. In the army, it's called discipline. You're going to do what you're told, or else you're going to go to jail. I went into a regiment, a battalion called a peacekeeping battalion, but it wasn't peacekeeping. They teach you how to kill people. And it's hard. It's hard to live like that. The friends that I went with, one was killed over there. And the two that came home, they hung themselves because of what they went through. So it's pretty hard to be part of that. My grandfather said, you need to go back to the peace road. Okay. Whoa, Hoda, Chankuki he. That's the one, the peace road. You have a heart, he said. I know it's been damaged, and I know that you didn't use your heart for a time. Now will be the time. And it's true, because what happened to me 1 month after I came back to Canada was that old man come to get me. He said, the people want you over here. He said, well, I was thinking, who in the heck wants a drunken Indian? I was thinking, I'm going over there now. If you want to ride, jump in. Well, I jumped in because I'm crazy, right? All I'm doing is just drinking and fighting. So I jumped in, away we went. When we got over there to another community, not my community, our different community, he got off. When we got there, he went over there and he started singing those songs with his own singing group. And when they finished singing, this other Chippewa people, they start singing next, but they danced together, the Chippewa and the Dakota. And it was run by an old lady, Mrs. Sinclair. And it brought me back from my bad days in the residential school, in the army days. It brought me back. I've seen lots of things when I was growing up, very strange things. Seahorses, black spots, fireballs, little men, all kinds of hearing voices. Those came back when I came back to Canada. I lost them when I was over there across the ocean. I got really scared that I thought I would lose them forever based on what I was doing. But thankfully they came back when I came back to Canada and started to go to. But it wasn't gonna work like that. what I went through. The old people told me that. He said, tear that stuff off. What you went through, tear it off. And the Washichu things, they said, the white man things, tear those off. And then inside, you still have stuff inside. You need to take that out. When you take that out, you're gonna feel empty. They said, fill it with your culture. You know how Dakota culture is. You fill it with that. You practice it for a few years until you get used to it. And now you can go out afterwards and you can start a family, have a relationship, get married, have kids, go to work, go to school. That's what they told us. That old man told me that, and I share that because I think it's really important. There's lots of English words for what I went through: counseling, therapy, all of those. So it helped me a lot. Now I can fully practice my way of living. That is, work with sacredness, sacred things. I could do it fully then. Before, I couldn't. Even though I grew up with all the ceremonies when I was young, I had to take this off first. The white man suit and the trauma that I went through was stuck in here. I need to take that out too. There are rules about getting a name, and things are done in order. First your name, and then your language. You got to learn your language. Then you'll get a song or songs. Then you get your colors. Those are the last things that you would get. And you would know why. I have lots of people come here and say, well, my name is so-and-so. I said, why did you get that name? I don't know. Those aren't right. Well, here are my colors, they say. Well, which color is which direction? I don't know. So living is not really like that. They're going to give you detailed instructions why your color red to the west and what is the meaning of that. Why you got blue to the north and why you have that, and to the west, east and to the south. Why do you have those colors? What is the representatives of those colors? What's the reason why you got your name? What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to live your name? There's lots of work to do regarding getting a name and living with that name, using your name. Lots of work. It's not just the one, you got your name and you're gone. That's not what it is. So it's very important. So you're connected to, you're natural. All the people are natural on this earth, just like the animals, just like the things that have wings that are flying around, and the things that medicine, for instance, the trees, the flowers, why do people use sweetgrass? Very few people right now know why they use sweetgrass. Very few people. Some people understand why they use sage, but they made it up in their own mind. It never came from up there. So those are the things that you have to take care. If you just use it without knowing why you're using it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So make sure that when you're going to do something, that you make prayers, say your name. Yeah. Creator, this is me here, Wanbdi Wakita, a name you gave me when I was a young boy. And I'm still following those ways. Thank you And make offerings too. Make offerings when you do that. So those are important things. All right. Did I answer most of those questions on here? What do you find most rewarding? All I said to you was, I like what I'm doing. You know, every place I worked in corrections for 32 years. And the staff, the warden, when I say something, they listen to me. When I talk to the boys that are locked up when I tell them something, they listen to me. And you know why? Because it came from up there. That's why. It seems real, a mystery. If you just talk any ordinary way, they're not going to listen. But if you talk about getting ceremony or instructions from up there, they seem to listen. Same as at the university. The president and the board of governors, when I say something that came from up there, they listen and they want to make it happen. It makes sense and it's holy. That's why. So we really have to in your work too, you have that right. The same thing as what I went through. You have that right. I've had some people who are what I call higher up, and they think they're the bosses, and they just order you around any old way just because they thought they had power. They don't have no power. Creator has all the power. When you follow the instructions from that and you just share that word with them, that's what's going to bring the goodness. That's what's going to bring the unity and the happiness. It's really a mystery. That's what our people call it. Talk to the mystery, they say. Okay, Dakuaka, something holy. So there's rules and regulations about that. Do you have any advice for people who want to get involved in their culture? Yeah, listen to your heart. Be kind to yourself. Have respect for yourself. Those are the makings. Someday, if you walk from here to here, which takes 25 years, creators and your ancestors are watching you every step, every year, they might decide, hey, that guy is walking really good. Let's give him a job. That's likely what'll happen. But you need to look after yourself really good. This is not a show. I went to a ceremony one time and this guy was lining up 15, 20 people. And he went in front of them and gave them names all the way through. Some of them he gave them twice, the same name. That's not the way to do things. It's not a show. You got to have a ceremony and you got to ask those people up there to give this man or this lady a name, or this child. The child name come real quick, but us old people, our names come, maybe it takes a year or two because we're acting bad. That's why we have to do good to because they got to see you the way you're walking. And you have to tell them something. What does that mean? Every day you make prayers. That's what that means. Tell your ancestors of your plans, and get that grief, that loss. You lose somebody and you grieve for a long time. Take that out of the way. You can't grieve for a long time. I've had people come here, they're grieving for 5 years. No wonder they can't go on a healing. This thing is in the road. That's not that. They didn't say that. To grieve for me for 25 years. No, feel bad when I'm gone. You feel bad for all your life. They didn't say that. Get on with your life, they told you. I showed you what needs to be done. You get on with it. That's what. So make sure that you, in our way, we have those laws. Somebody dies, you learn about what this loss means to you. After you figure it out, you start your grieving from here to there, usually 1 year. In that 1 year, it's called keeping of the spirit. And in that time, you have coffee with that person, you cook him a couple of eggs and you sing to him and you tell him of your plans, all those kinds of things. You make some medicine and you burn it or you drink it and you offer it to him too. And then after 1 year, okay, Koda, I'm finished now. Thank you you can go home now, because when they get home, they're able to turn around. And when they turn around, you can call them. That's why it's important to have a really good name, because they'll have that from up there. You can call them, say, a year and a half, you've been gone now. So I want you to come down and help your brother. Your brother's having a really hard time. And that spirit will go and help that brother. It's just like, it's not a miracle. It's a regular thing that can happen. I know some Washitas come here and they say, oh, that's a miracle. That's not a miracle. That's holy up there. It came from up there. So culture is, if you wanted to get involved, culture is pretty important. Know your culture. I know some people go all over trying to find something. It's not out there. It's inside here. That's where the thing's defining is. The kind of feelings you have, the kind of thinking that you do, the kinds of things that you do, the kind of talk that you do. It's inside of you. What is something you want everyone to know about your topic? Just because I'm saying these things, that doesn't mean you're going to go and copy what I said. You have to make your own way. That's the mistake a lot of people make here. I see my words and my teachings being applied by people, other people. I don't mind that so much, but I don't want you to copy. The work Creator gave me is for me. I'm sharing that so you can make your own decisions as to what you want to do. Pick out those good words here, and then make prayers, because that's where your instructions would come from. You're going to be shown something, you're going to be given something, you're going to be told something. And don't make it into a show, don't make it up. You make sure that it's clear and that it really came from the holy people, your ancestors and Creator. And don't forget about Mother Earth. If you make prayers and then go and destroy Mother Earth, it's not going to work. It's everything is included in this stuff, what you need to do. So make sure, all around healing, I call it, heart, mind, body, and spirit. and things need to be good. I don't know what time. Oh, look at that, 3 minutes.
Right on time.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to open it up to people on Facebook. If you have any questions for Wanbdi before he has to go at 12, please let me know. Oh, we have a comment from Danae who says, I just want to be the best me that I can be. So thankful for these beautiful words today, me gwetch. I could say Danae. Also, I believe Kale and Danielle had some questions. I want to open it up to them as well to have time to answer a question or ask a question, I mean.
Sure.
No, I just want to say Wakita. Is that how you say it? Just because I'm into language and like the place names and stuff, I was wondering how would you say like your home or like Sioux Valley in Dakota?
How would you say what?
Sioux Valley.
Oh, we're not called really Sioux Valley. We're called Wipazokawakpa, Saskatoon River. That's what we're called. So somebody long ago put Sioux Valley on there. We're not Sioux, we're Dakota. We're not Indians, we're Dakota. We're not Canadians, we're Dakota. We're not Manitobans, we're Dakota. That must be real clear to everybody. Yeah. Wipazokawakpa, that's what we're called. That's where we come from, but we're Dakota. Yeah.
Wakita.
I would say.